Hi there and welcome. These are your handover videos for your Coachman Laser 665. These are essentially a basic walkthrough on how to set up and operate the caravan as if you were on or offside. Starting off first, we have your black hitch head at the front with black lever, which you have to have pulled up. And then when you wind down the jockey wheel onto the tow ball, it will snap down that black handle, push up that red button and expose a green ring. You have a breakaway cable underneath. Now, if you have an eye point, the Galaxy states it has to be used. If not, wrap it around the tow bar. You've got a handbrake here, which you just engage and disengage just like so. And then you do also have 13-pin electric. So if you do have 7-pin adaptation on your car, make sure to bring yourself an adapter. Just next to it, we have a red propane gas bottle with an in-date gas hose, which is connected onto this regulator. You can hand tighten that to an extent and then just nip it up using the spanner. You don't want it ridiculously tight because that will put pressure on the washer itself that is inside, so just give it a little bit of a nip up. Once both sides are firmly connected, twist the gas bottle in the positive or open direction. This specific model has the EMP auto leveling legs, which I will show you in a later video. Coming round to the other side, starting off first, we have your flue. Your flue is used to get clean air in and out of your boiler. Don't have to do anything with this except make sure it's nice, clean and tidy. Just next to it, we have an aqua full of clean drinking water just here, and then your water pump. So the pump itself just connects in and out nice and easy by pushing on. You have this plastic cap to go over the top of the aqua to ensure no nastiness gets in. And at the bottom we have the strainer. It's crucial that the strainer sits at the bottom of the barrel to bring through the maximum potential of water, and so it doesn't lead to coughs or splutters. Insert just like so, press down the cap to lock it into place. Just next to it we have your external shower point. Just here we have your battery. Now you do have 2 terminals on the top to be able to essentially use it. To remove them, you'll need a 12 or 13mm spanner or that battery spanner. Then you have your plug-in for your mains just here, and just behind it you have your isolator switch for your motor mover. Motor mover itself will be shown on collection. And lastly, we have your toilet function. So let's move the keys in a second. So just underneath here we have both where your wastewater from your shower and sink will come from. You'll need some 28.5mm waste pipe to then feed into a waste master that you can empty out at the appropriate point on site. Then just here we have your cassette toilet. To remove it, press up on the handle, pull out towards you. Now this handle does also extend out and up, so it can be used similar to a carry-on suitcase. What you want to do, twist that head to the side, open up that cap, and then you want to tilt, and at the same time as tilting, continue to press in the vent button. Now my recommendation is to open up this compartment, feed it some fresh water, completely miss that, and again tilt and vent. Then on this cap here we have measurements in both imperial and metric, and that's for your blue chemical. Blue chemical goes back into there, back onto that point, and then push it in so that the orange handle sits behind those white teeth. Then just up above we have your flush tank. The flush tank itself can hold 12 litres of water. However, I wouldn't recommend putting in any more than 10 as you don't want to overfill the compartment. You can also add a little bit of pink chemical which works as a bleach without being corrosive and makes it smell nicer. And just up here you have your drain off for the flush tank itself, as you don't want to travel with any water in the caravan at all. The caravan itself will be fully drained off before you leave with it. Then underneath your right hand side bed you have all this, so I wouldn't recommend storing anything. Either side of your boiler, so you have a yellow valve there and another one just there. Those are your drain valves for the caravan. So when you leave with the caravan, those will both be in the vertical position, the drain mode. November to March, have that up permanently unless you're actively using the caravan, and anytime you come offside, make sure to drain it off. This compartment here is your outer boiler, and then just next to it we have what is outer flow, which is essentially continuous hot water. You have these two blue boxes here, which are your brain boxes for your motor mover. We have just there your solar panel charger, and that button just there is the emergency retract for the EMP if it were to ever fail. Then just here we have both your trips and fuses, all of them in the upright position and all your fuses in the correct position as well, all labelled at the bottom. Then just here we have your main control panel. So you have your main on and off switch just here, and then you can circle through. So you have the time, and you have settings which you can enter using this button. It has display, sound, notification, and the firmware. Go through again, you have fill tank. So if I wanted to fill the onboard tank, I would press this button just here. Then I have the pump select, so I can either use internal pump, which is the onboard tank, or external pump, which will take the water straight from the Acrol to the taps. Then that's the water level for the onboard tank system itself. Internal temperature here is 16 degrees. Leisure battery voltage is 13.8. Now, as we are currently plugged into mains, that will be a representation of the amount coming from mains. When you're not plugged into mains, that will show you the true battery reading just there. And then you're back to the start. So if I want to fill the tank, I first press this button here, so it's pump on. It will give me a notification to say that the pump is running. And then if I want to fill it, I press in just here, and you can see it begins to gradually fill the tank. That will go up by percentage. Then I have the main internal lights, then you can just use the respective light switches. I have the awning light just here, so press that in. You can see outside awning light is on just there. And you can see gradually the tank begins to fill. Now, if I want to stop it, I just press in and it's going to stop. So, pump select, I'm currently set on external pump, meaning that the water is going to go straight from the Acrol through to the boiler and to your taps, rather than going from the Acrol to the tank. Now with this, what you have to do is open off on both hot and cold. Now, because it's only just turned on, it's going to have a couple of coughs and splutters. So what I like to do is let it essentially work its way through for about 2 to 3 minutes. So turn that off for now. Make sure that for now I'm set on external pump. However, let's say I want to use internal pump, I press that button and it goes in, and then I can just use the water that's coming straight from that tank. Just there. Now, what we will do, we will fill up the tank and then we'll show you the water coming from the tank. So, whilst that's working, we'll show you how the wet central heating. So, you turn on using this button here. Now, that LED will always be on, but this screen will fade off if not interacted with. The internal temperature from this one to this one is going to slightly differ, but just ignore that. You go to menu. On the top one, you have the internal temperature of the caravan. So it's currently set to 20.5. I can go up or down using 0.5. Whatever I set it to, it will get to that temperature in around about an hour. Then I have this shower icon here, which is for the water heat. So off means that no water is being heated. Halfway, we'll get the water temperature to around about 40 or 50 degrees. And full will prioritise the water over the heating of the actual caravan for around about an hour. After that hour has finished, it will then drop it back down to midway. Then I have the energy source, so just turn that off for now. I can either have 1, 2 or 3 kilowatt of mains, or I can have essentially just gas to use, or a mixture of gas in 1, 2 and 3. Now do be aware that some sites do not have 3 kilowatt capacity to be able to use it. Then I've just pressed that cog and that takes me through to the additional settings. I'm not going to go through this as we have set it to what we believe is the easiest, most user-friendly one to use. Now, if I want that completely off, I press in on that button. As you can see though, the tank has gradually filled. It is now at 34%, 35%, goes up gradually. So pump is still running. And let's switch it over to internal pump. Now that is going to allow me to use the water that's on the onboard tank. Now, on hot, it's going to have a cough and splutter because there's not really any hot water in it at the moment. But on cold, you can see a nice steady continuous stream. What you want to do is let that run for about 30 seconds, just so that you can check to see that it's all nice and smooth. If there are any coughs and splutters, do make sure you check your acroll outside, make sure the strainer sat at the bottom, make sure you're plugged in correctly and that your drain valves are in the correct position. So that's it, using it from the internal tank. But let's say I want to use the external tank. Press in there, goes to external pump. And then I can open up here and you can see a nice steady continuous stream there as well. It's the same concept, but instead of using the onboard tank facility, just go straight to it. Usually what people will do, they will fill up the onboard tank and then they will just use it from that until it's run out, and then they'll use the acroll itself. Just here we have your toilet system. So the toilet itself, to turn it on, well, to flush, you press in this button and you can hear that motor. That motor is what will push around any water inside the system itself. To remove any waste, press away on this handle, opens up that catch, pull it back towards you to shut it up. When the cassette is full, there'll be a red light telling you to go and empty it. Then just next to it, in the toilet as well, you have your alder fluid. This is the tank here. We have set it so it's at least 3 millimeters above the minimum line, and that will naturally bubble as well when it's in use, similar to a car coolant tank. Then underneath your bed at the back, we have this handle just here. So you have this flow jet that's just on the side, which will draw through the water from the acroll outside to this tank. Now, this will be left essentially drained off. The way you drain it off, you pull up that blue handle and remove it, and the water will drop out, because essentially that is holding in the water that's in place. The tank itself is situated underneath there. Then just here we have your hob, grill and oven. So with regards to this, if you wanted to use anything else on gas, my recommendation is to first check that the hob, grill and oven is all operating. Now with this, you have a light on the side to be able to use for the oven, and then you do have an electric point just there. So for that, just spin it to whatever point you want and it will get to temperature. Everything else you have to press in on the dial, twist it to the side and press in the igniter. Now it may be a case that this will light up and fade off. That is just the gas making its way through its system. This is what it looks like when they're all lit. As you can see here, nice blue clean continuous flames. Turn it off, back to the central position. Then same concept with the grill. As you can see, the grill nice and lit. Now with some people it may be a case that the grill will light up one side and then it will light up the other side afterwards, because it's not a instant thing for some people. It's just dependent on a few bits. Then you can see the oven nice and lit just there. Only other real thing to note, you can travel with the gas hose on, but make sure the bottle itself is turned off, and make sure that you travel with this glass sheet down, but don't put it down until all of these are cold to the touch. Then just here we have your Dometic fridge operation. So with this is a dual opening fridge, meaning that you can open it from either side. Now if you are wanting to use it either side, make sure that whenever you push one in, you push it in all the way. Now you have this little screen here which allows you to select a few things. So first up, you press in and you go to this. Now this is the amount of power coming into the fridge. 5 being the highest, so it's going to chill it the quickest. but even on the higher setting, it's going to take around 4 hours to fully chill. So select that, press in. Next up, press in again, twist to the side, and we have your energy source. So you've either got auto, which will automatically choose what the fridge thinks is the best source to use. That battery symbol is representative of 13-pin electric for when you're towing, not your leisure battery. If you think it's leisure battery, it's just going to trip the fridge out. Then you have gas. Now the gas even, you'll gradually hear it tick in, and then once it's finished ticking, that means it's lit. Or battery. Now when I come out, shows you that it's chose auto mains. And the last row is your sources. So you have just here the amount of screen brightness. You have key beep, so when you press something in, it's going to beep. Ventilation, and then fast freeze. Whatever has the blue border around it is what's going to be lit. Then, if you want this completely turned off, you press and hold in, and it will turn the screen off.